Welcome back everyone to another episode of Let's Play Wostrelcraft, and I've been working on my item storage room, and I'm not really happy with the way that it's really turning out. I did a little bit of designing, and I've come up with a system that works quite a bit better than this one, and I think that we're going to rip all of this back out and replace it with a different system. But first we're going to pop over to a test world and take a look at the design that I am going to be replacing this with. So this is my setup for my item sorter, and as you can see here I have two item sorters side by side. That is built an item sorter before will recognize this little assembly here. This is the tileable redstone. It has the comparator, the redstone repeater, and torch just like any other item sorter would have. The difference here is that this comparator is actually reading this hopper through the block. This is a nice feature that comparators have, and it allowed me to move the redstone one block away from the hoppers. Now this was necessary because in order to have these item sorters side by side, I needed the locking hopper to drop its items straight down. Now in most item sorters you end up with the locking hopper directly above the redstone torch, which means that the items can only be funneled out to the side. So what I have done here, the signal from this redstone torch goes into this block, and then that block is able to power the hopper and lock the system. Now below the locking hoppers I have a grid of regular chests and trap chests. This allows for a lot of chests to be right here without any of them merging together. Below that is just simple ductwork that pulls the items out of those chests and delivers them to the appropriate chest in the hallway. Now as you can probably notice here, the upper chests have much less storage capacity than the lower chests. So if you are going to build this system in your world, definitely make sure that when you set up your item filters that the top chests are going to be items that are not going to have as many items. The item pipe that goes across the top, all that it does is it zigzags back and forth across the top of here. So obviously items that are on this wall will be filtered long before items on this wall. So another tip when setting up your item filters is to put items that you're most commonly going to be finding in the first hoppers and the least common items in the last hoppers. Now to set up an item filter on this, you do have to break the block here, but because of the way the system is, that will keep the items locked in this hopper. Then you can come in here, set up your filter, and then you just place the block down there and the item is ready to be sorted out. Here in the center, this is the minimum width that this system can be, because the redstone pushes up against the redstone from the other side. Now you can make this wider, but these blocks do have to be a solid block. If you make it wider, you can go higher, of course. And this block that the repeater sits on has to be a minimum of a half slab that is on the top of this block space. Now you can use the upside down stairs like I did here. That makes for a nice aesthetic block. You can use a solid block. It doesn't really matter as long as there's something that the repeater can sit on. Now above these chests you can see I have glowstone. Now this provides lighting for the hallway, and because it is a transparent block, the chest can open into it. On the bottom, to simulate a full block, I have put in upside down stairs. Now this all has to be done first, but an upside down stair will allow the chest to open also. This other side is just a mirror image of the first side, and it's really a lot of items in a small space. Now the breakdown of this comes down to 91 stacks of items in the top hoppers and chests, excluding the locking hopper and item filter, and 177 stacks for the lower system, the way that this is set up. Now, if you wanted to, this item filtering system could be moved up, and you could add tremendously more chest space underneath here. But this is the system that I'm going to build in the server, and I think I'm gonna time-lapse the destruction of the old and the installation of this new system. And I'm still going to have to set up some bulk storage for things like cobblestone, smooth stone, netherrack, possibly dirt, but there won't be a lot of items that need that bulk storage. As I said, the lower system does hold 177 stacks, which is a fair amount, unless you have like an automatic item farm or a mob spawner or something like that that will constantly be feeding items into the system. So I'm going to head back over to the server, and I will see you after I get that work done. Man, that is a great song. So this is what it looks like. And I have this side completely finished. I have the item filters set up. I have item frames on the chests, items in the frames, and there's pretty much items in most of those chests. Now this side, I do have all of the redstone and hoppers in place. However, I ran out of item frames, and so I'm going to have to do some farming of cows before I can make more. And also I have to set up all of the item filters, and that is a very time-consuming process. And so I'll just do that as I have time. Now, I do know that I will have to extend this room eventually and add more items, but currently I am running very low on iron. So that won't be something that I'll do right away. When the time comes, I will probably give you an update on it or something like that. And also, I am in dire need of the automatic smelter that I was talking about. My cobblestone is backed way up in here. I had to add a lot of extra chests to this chest column to be able to make everything fit. And what I'm thinking is I'll probably put the smelter underneath here, and then I'll just be able to flip a lever here and cobblestone start draining out into the smelter, and then it'll go back into the item elevator and filter out into the smooth stone chest. One other thing that I still need to do, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, is I need stacks of storage for non-filtered items. Things like all of the armor and weapons, and any item that happens to not be contained within the item filters. And generally you need several double chests stacked on top of each other in order to accommodate that. So I'm definitely going to need some room. But in the future I intend on removing this ladder and replacing it with either a slime block piston minecart elevator, or possibly just the old-fashioned minecart elevator. Either way, that is definitely going to be changed, but I think we're going to go ahead and take a look around the server and see what has been done. And it happens to be nighttime, so we're going to pop up here real quick and take a snooze so that we can take a tour during the day. So it's been I did my tour, and there has been some major changes around spawn. And actually the first change here occurred between the time of me recording my tour and getting the video up onto YouTube, and that is this sheep farm, Project Rainbow. So this is a wool farm, and it is every color of sheep in Minecraft, but for some reason we are having problems with the yellow and lime sheep. We keep finding these sheep in the nether. The lime sheep are totally missing, and we have one yellow in the yellow pen and one yellow in the lime pen. So whatever, we'll get some more sheep in there, color them correctly, and figure that out in the future. So we have a nice group of flowers here, makes things pretty, and it's hard to notice, but there are green carpets on top of jack-o'-lanterns here. And this is because Dwaz didn't really like the way the jack-o'-lanterns looked, and so I recommended we try green carpets. And in the swamp biome here, those green carpets tend to blend in with the grass quite well. And then also he did a little bit of decorating here in front, added some flowers, and this is coarse dirt so the grass won't spread onto it. And he added a little coarse dirt into his path, and I think it looks real good. Now inside he's done a lot of work since the server tour. You can see he's got some chandeliers hanging from the ceilings. He finished the wall. started adding this library setup, and he's got some carpets. He started to gather a lot of artwork, and these two banners I made, even though they are not my designs, but he put them up here on his walls and labeled them for me. Now, I actually did name this one Derp, because that is the derpy squid, but that's besides the point. He's still trying to figure out what he's going to do with the rest of this space. It is a very large room, and to anyone that has done decorating in Minecraft, you know that it is a difficult thing to decorate a large space, and lighting becomes an issue. There's a lot of things that become problems in large spaces. Over here, there has been a little bit of work done at Wesley's base and Alyssa's base, but nothing overly noteworthy. We do have a lot of lily pads that can trap you under the water. But we have here an Enderman trying to steal the dirt from the freshly terraformed hill that Dwaz has been working on. So a couple of people, myself included, have said how this hill didn't really look too good with all the stone exposed, and David really didn't like it, so he went ahead and covered the hill with grass. I recommended that he leave these patches of stone exposed, and for no reason other than this is an extreme hills biome anyway, and really I don't think there should be that much dirt on top of the stone in this area. But he added a whole bunch of spruce trees back here and made a big forest. I went around and bone mealed the ground. That gave it kind of a shaggy forest look. And we also had to fill in a whole bunch of creeper holes. We lit up the area with torches. It was a pretty big ordeal to take care of all of this. Now, Max Havoc has stated that he is going to be going out to a different area, and we're going to have to move down here quite a ways before it'll show up. He hasn't done anything at that space yet except put down a little bit of torches and claim the area. So let's see if we can see it here. Boy, there's a lot of torches out here. I didn't realize people had torched this area up that much. So that's the edge of it. Let's see if we can get it to spawn in more. So it's this big mountain. It's got a floating rock formation above it, and you can see here he carved out a little square room and put up some torches. But that, I believe, will be his mountain in the future, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what he can come up with on that. You know, his Eye of Sauron, I don't know if it really fits into the builds in Spawn, but everybody has to add their part to make a server be what it ends up being. So we'll see if we can get back up here. So I think Wesley did this. It's just some simple farms here. I think what you're meant to do is go up on top and drop water down on it. But I think Lexi was going to try making some automatic farms, and so that will be kind of neat to see. Alyssa did some work here with flowers and put in a whole bunch of carpets in her house. So she's got the red and white on the ground floor, light blue and lime here, and then magenta and purple. And wow, that's really bright. We'll head over here, and I can't remember if I've showed Craig's map before, but he has been making a map of the area around Spawn, and I think that we want to put that, I'll probably just make copies of his maps, and we'll put that out in the center of the spawn area. But, yeah, we got a lot of stuff that we can still pull up on the maps. And once again, he's got this big, wide open area, and you can see it's difficult to decorate an area like that. I learned that a long time ago and have tried to avoid big areas inside of buildings unless I'm going for something like a mob spawner. So over here we removed the cows and sheep from the center of spawn, and someone, either me or Craig, maybe David, would be building some type of an ornamental object here in the center of spawn. I think I'd really like to do something with the maps, get some water effects, and also I'd like to have some sort of a tower that we could look out over spawn, see everything that's been done. And we'll just have to see. If someone else beats me to it, I guess it's no big deal. But I think we're going to go ahead and call that good for the episode for today. And if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll hope to see you all next time. Bye.